Here's a brief but annoying message to let you know that you could have first heard this episode 9 months ago if you were a subscriber to our Iron Filing Society Patreon offering.
For the price of a pint and a St Clement's each month, you can get up to 4 episodes a week, 9 months before the rest of the world gets them. Early access to regular episodes, lots of other marvellous benefits, and there's absolutely no adverts or brief but annoying messages like this that will get right on your ticks.
Find out more and subscribe now at tftimemachine.com/ironfilings.
Here we go, here we go, here we go, here we go, this is it!
This is Top Flight Time Machine. I am Andy Hotbody Dawson. Pow, pow, pow.
I am Sam Nifty Delaney, so what?
Welcome along to another episode of the Melchester Odyssey. In my right hand, I have the 29th of September issue, 1984, Roy of the Rovers. Right across the top, it does not advertise the Sign Please star that's in the middle centre pages. Something far more important than that, Sam. It tells us Super Pedigree Pet Foods Competition Inside. Now, as I'm saying that, you're looking across at where your dog is.
Yeah. The dog is in the house. I'm in the Vita Modular. Between us, there is maybe, a few square yards of garden.
How is she behaving? How is she performing?
Well, she's disappeared now, which I'm a bit worried about. She did have her nose pressed up against the back door window and was sort of looking at me mournfully. Yeah. Like, what did I do, Daddy?
Yeah.
Why have you locked me here? Then she barked angrily, like, I've had enough of this now. It's not even funny. And now she's just
disappeared.
She's just fucked off.
I'm going to smash the fucking ass up.
Yeah, I think that's probably what... I think that's what she's doing. She'll go. Yeah. She'll be going to do some sort of protest.
Yeah. I just thought you were distracted there. You didn't take in the full glamour.
No, I did see Pedigree Pet Foods. I mean, it's a remarkable promotion for a child's comic, isn't it?
Yeah. What? Why? What? When
you look at sitcoms from like the 70s or 80s, very often the dog is very much the jurisdiction of the children in the house. Like there was a lot of children's programs in particular where it would just be about a boy and his dog.
Yeah.
And it'd be like, oh, that dog of yours. And it would always be the boy's sort of responsibility.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, Digby, biggest dog in the world, is a bit like that. It's just a boy and a dog. And if you look at even the older ones, whether that's Champion the Wonder Horse, he had a dog, didn't he? Not the horse, but the kid. I think the kid's name was Ricky. He had a dog called, I think, Rebel was its name. Like...
But in those shows, the kid would get told off for something at home, or there'd be an argument between mum and dad at home, and the kid would just say, come on, boy, let's get out of here. And he put his anorak on, and they'd go off down the wasteland. Yeah,
it was lovely, and it sort of portrayed this like life that you had as a boy, and your best friend really was your dog.
Your dog.
That's exactly what you just described. Is exactly what I had in my mind. And obviously, the classic is Dennis and Nasher.
Yeah, there's lots more going on there, though.
I mean, he was always moaning to Nasher, wasn't he? He was basically always moaning to Nasher about what cunts his parents were.
Yeah.
Come on, Nasher, let's get away from those fucking cunts. But always giving me shit.
Nasher was pretty much a nihilist. Nasher's response or attitude would be, fuck him, burn the fucking house down, son, that's what I'd do.
Yeah, exactly. I've told you that before. You won't get anywhere playing Mr. Nice. You got to speak in a language you'll get these cunts to sit up and listen to you. Take you seriously, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, I'll have a look at this dog food competition, because what you can win is...
But just to say, that's why maybe they're advertising it, because in those days, maybe, the kids just had to... your mum would just say, I've got you a dog, but you have to fucking feed it, and you have to look after it. I'm not doing anything.
Are you a dog lover? If so, the Best Pals Club, launched by Pedigree Pet Foods, makers of Pal Dog Food, is for you. It's a special club for young people aged 6 to 16 who really care about dogs. You'll notice I, Roy Rice, do not own a dog. When you join, you'll receive a personalised membership certificate and exclusive club goodies. 6 times a year, you'll receive a club magazine or newsletter crammed full of useful facts about dogs and how to look after them. It says here, There'll be competitions, crosswords and quizzes to keep you busy. And if you're keen to get in touch with dog lovers like yourself, there's a special pen pal section. Brackets. Pen pals may, in fact, be grown men pretending to be children.
Watch out, perverts possible. Ask your mum if you are concerned.
Anyway.
Why you would invite an animal, a beast, into your home where you live, where you eat, where you sleep is beyond me. I find it vile and disgusting. And I'm very happy to have elevated myself way beyond the class confines that I was born into, thanks to my exceptional talent and intelligence. It means that I can live a civilised life that does not involve ever having to handle the excrement of an animal. Next question.
So there's a competition and you can win 16 Best Pals memberships. So I guess you've got to pay for a Best Pal membership otherwise. Each of the 3 first prize winners also get a Sony Walkman. Way!
Oh, now we're talking. Now I'm sitting up and listening.
And 6 months supply of Pal dog food. And
I've got this Walkman. That's the good news. Is the bad news? I've got fucking about 10 fucking crates of dog food that's come with it. And I don't know how I'm going to fucking shift them.
3 second prize winners will receive 3 months supply of Pal and a board game. And it's a word search. You've got to do a word search. And there are 8 well-known dogs in there, and they give you a clue. 4 of them are Scooby, Muttley, the aforementioned Nasher, and Lady. And then you've got to find the other 4. And I haven't got time to do that live. But suffice to say, I would be able to do it very easily because I'm a word search king.
And I would have won the Walkman.
I would have won all the Walkmans and all the dog food.
I would look at my new walking man. It's called a Walkman. It's my walking man. Frank Lampard on his first day at Brentwood School.
Dog food contest and a Walkman to be won, so that's nice. So that's the front cover across the top. Onwards we go into the story itself. Roy Race had been given the chance to change his mind about playing for England by Bobby Robson, the England team manager, the increasingly desperate England team manager, let's say, who had come to Melchester's home match against Tynecastle to watch Roy and Jimmy Slade, but midfield star Jimmy hadn't reported for the start of the game. And we see Roy, he's got something on his mind. He's just hit a shot with his right foot, which has just gone past the post. He sliced it. Oh, he sliced it! Shouts a fan.
Slicer!
Roy is a slicer! Roy won't trouble the Tynecastle keeper with shots like that! And Roy is down on one knee after he's hit this shot. He's fucking wrestling with this whole thing. It says Roy was still furious about the absence of Jimmy Slade, and he's thinking, my form appears to be absent too. He's responding there to a caption with a thought.
Really weird. Yeah.
Psychedelic. My form seems to be absent too. I'm beginning to regret that note I sent to Bobby Robson. What note?
You know captions in comics though? Have you ever wondered whose voice it's supposed to be? I believe it to be God's commentary.
God
and the
himself.
editor of this comic is God.
Yeah.
And God is commentating.
So you used to think all comics were edited by God?
By God.
Still think that?
And that's the voice of God observing what his creations are up to.
Roy was still furious about the absence of Jimmy Slade.
Oh. He always chuckles like Jabba the Hutt.
You can tell I'm a benevolent God because I go, like Santa Claus.
Some people mistake me for Santa Claus, and I have heard some playground debates over the years that have got pretty angry and sometimes violent between 8-year-old boys arguing about whether Santa Claus is also God or vice versa.
I find it very amusing.
It's entertaining to me, but I can confirm, no, I am not Santa, but I did create Santa.
I listened to these playground debates for a while, and then I watch Countdown.
And after Countdown, I generally have a nap. And during that nap is usually when the worst atrocities happen on Earth.
And I've got my eyes shut. Yeah, he says, I'm beginning to regret that note I sent to Bobby Robson. What note indeed? And then we see at that moment a Melchester youth maybe it's a reserve or a youth team player in the tracksuit of Melchester, is handing a note to Bobby Robson, who is in the director's box, got a big grin on his face. Jeff Boycott's there as well, he's smiling. Alec Haymore is at the side. Everyone's having a lovely time. And this kid says, "It's from Roy, Mr. Robson. He didn't have time to speak to you before the kick-off." And Bobby Robson, with his jet black hair, that's soon fucking changed after a few years in the England job. He says,
I don't think it was even that jet black at this stage.
It was. No.
It looks artificial to me. What did they used to call it? Is that Grecian 2000? What is it that you used
Might
to
have
put
been that, yeah. Grecian 2000.
Yeah. He's been at the Grecian.
Robson takes the note from him and says, "Okay, son, thanks.
Uncle Bobby, I'll take a look at it.
I'll have a little look. I'll just
Is that
get
a
the
little
readers
note
out."
for us? Is that a little note for us? Oh, that's lovely. Is that like a love letter? Is it scented? I hope so, son. I don't like notes that don't come scented.
Is it a romantic note? I hope not, because I'm not that way inclined. I find Roy to be a very handsome man, but I do not wish to exchange bodily fluids with him.
Sexually, it's only Mrs. Robson for me. Always has been. I don't want to receive poetry from anyone other than her, and not particularly from her either, because she's not the brightest, to be honest.
Or maybe I'll receive some from that other woman whose identity was revealed during the 1990 World Cup, when the tabloids were really having a go at us. Have I imagined that? No, that was true, wasn't it? Bobby Robson had a bit of a thing. Bit of a bit on the side.
Fucking hell, Bobby. That must have been... I think he stayed with his missus. That must have been a difficult period.
In the early 1990s, the England team manager himself, Bobby Robson, was carpeted for his alleged part in steamy 3 times a night romps with redheads. 3 times a night, Sam!
Aye, 3 times a night. Fucking hell, how old was he? He's got to be older than I was. I can barely manage 3 times a year.
Breathlessly revealed just before the England team left for Italia United. Did Bobby breathlessly reveal it? I'm not surprised he's breathless after 3 times a night romps with redheads.
Fuck me. With a redhead as well.
Redhead. Whoa.
That's serious.
The most passionate of all the heads.
Yeah, that's like you gotta fucking be seriously match fit to go with a redhead. Everyone knows that.
Fucking hell. Anyway.
You can't phone it in. You know what they say? You can't phone it in with a redhead.
Not with a redhead.
You gotta be fucking sharp.
Yeah.
You gotta be sharp, you gotta be at it.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's not descend towards the sewer yet again. So anyway, over the page, black and white yet again for 2 of the 4 pages. Disgusting. We see a close-up of the note, which Bobby Robson has unfolded in his reading. And it says, "Sorry about Jimmy Slag, Bobby, but he just hasn't turned up." No idea what's happened to him. I'll just have to put on a show for both of us.
I've been kidnapped several times, which you'd know if you read my fucking comic. So it's more common than you think for players to be kidnapped on match day.
He says, "I'll just have to put on a show for both of us." And Bobby's
underlined both as well. I've got to underline both just to nail it that I'm joking.
And then signed Roy Race, of course, the famous signature. And Bobby's looking on as Roy has the ball, and he's thinking, "It's up to you then, Roy. That's if you really want to play for your country." It says Roy wasn't sure.
I think I feel that there's slightly kind of nationalistic undertones by the way he says that. It's a bit, do you love your country, Roy? Do you? Or are you one of these stinking communists who want to do everything they can to undermine this great nation? You're not one of those. You're not one of those bastards who wants to pull down the old statues just because someone had a couple of slaves back in the olden times, like.
I don't suppose I'm going to go rooting around under your bed and find a hammer and a sickle. Am I right?
Or some political leaflets with pictures of war marks on them.
And the good lady, Mrs. Thatcher, but with devil horns.
I very much hope not to find that kind of thing, because believe me, before anyone represents their country on my watch, we do a thorough search under their bed first.
Or as we sometimes pronounce devil in the northeast, divil.
Divil.
And it says Roy wasn't sure what he wanted. Okay, fucking existential crisis time. Everyone knows I've disapproved of the England setup and tactics in the past, so how can I expect to just walk back into Bobby Robson's squad? He thinks as he receives a pass. Whoa. That's deep.
He's quite like Elon Musk. Like, Elon Musk has got a book out. And it's all about, I can't remember, he's got some really funny phrases that are used in it about his life. I'm not sure if he's written it or someone's done a biography of him. He's got all these funny things that, like, are the secrets of his success. And, like, one of them's, like, some sort of, like, unique thought ordering system in his head.
Right.
And it's got strong Roy Race vibes to it. About this, most people's brains, I just saw it in the paper.
Right.
Like, it was like a thing about, it was because it was a mental health thing.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was about mental, maybe Elon Musk can, like, you know, hack your mental health with his thought ordering processes, right?
Yeah.
And it was sort of like, yeah, most people's brains, they just go like, if you saw it as a picture, it'd just be like a scribble, lines going everywhere. But from a very young age, what I did was, I untangled the lines and I made it into a series of neat boxes. And depending on what I need to do in any moment, I can reach for a particular box, pull it off the shelf, utilise it with complete focus, and then put it back all neat. That's how I invented an electric car.
Yeah. Well, I saw
That's how I bought Twitter and changed its name, by using my thought filing system.
Yeah. And X is just two lines, you know, like lines and that.
It's neater. It's tidier.
What someone pointed out the other day, that nobody has alerted me yet to the fact that the home icon is still a birdhouse. I haven't changed that yet. I either haven't realised I don't know how to do it.
I haven't got my renaming and box off of the shelf yet. Dusted it down and thought of something to replace the bird box.
Can't think of anything. I'm fucked.
Might just leave it at that. So what?
Yeah,
don't
matter. Joke's on you, cunts. So Roy, he takes the ball and takes it past a sliding defender, and he continues to dwell on this situation. And he thinks, on the other hand, the England manager has taken the trouble to come to watch two of us. And then he beats another defender, and one of them insults him by not turning up. Fan shouts, "Get him, Caster! Stop him!" And then he thinks, which leaves just me. And hits a shot. Roy's rocket! Shouts a fan, and of course, there it is. Top corner. Back of the net. Yes! Scream the fans. Have that, Tadcaster, whoever the fuck you're playing. It's not Tadcaster, that's a real place. Tynecaster.
Yeah, Tynecaster.
And have that Bobby Robson. Have that Jeff Boycott, whose idea it was to hook them up.
Jalapeño.
Carl Hunt runs across. Carl Hunt's done fuck all since signing for Melchester, by the way.
Well, I think that with him, I thought it was a weird signing because he was not a young player on the up like some of these players they bring in, like what's his name, Rob Richards. He was a player who'd already been there and done it, a veteran. And I think that Roy made a mistake because obviously we'd seen he'd gone through some, let's call them sort of a malaise, let's say, over things in his past. And then Roy, like, moved heaven and earth. We had to fucking endure it all summer, in fact, didn't we? Where he moved heaven and earth to get his head straight and get him signed for Rovers. And now I think he's coasting. I've seen it a million times at West Ham. A million times. You sign these players who've achieved things already in their career at bigger clubs, and they come to you and they think, lovely, nice long contract, decent pay, fucking coast it out. I can phone these performances in. I can basically get a steady 6 or 7 out of 10 every week without really breaking a sweat. So
yeah, we've had it.
And that's what he's doing.
Usually from Manchester United or Everton.
Yeah.
So Carl Hunt Magic, Racy. That was the goal the second you started your run. Oh, was it? Says Roy. I mean, thanks, Carl. I think I did it from memory. What? Okay. Blackie's there in the background as well, in between the two of them. Smiling, but thinking, oh, Carl's got to Roy again to say something. I need to get over faster next time. He's got to say all the nice things to Roy, and anything I say is not going to be as good. Nice goal, Roy. Yeah, whatever. Jeff Boycott, the Rovers chairman, was playing host in inverted commas to Bobby Robson. Boycott says, I think we'd call that an old-fashioned centre-forward's goal, eh, Bobby? Robson says, maybe that's what my squad has been lacking. It's a bit of criticism
Quite
of
harsh.
Robson there.
If you were, because obviously this is a confusing crossover between fact and fiction.
Yeah.
It would be, if I was, I mean, in 1984, what, you're talking like Trevor Francis, probably the last days of
Mariner would have been around still,
Mariner,
probably.
Woodcock.
Yeah.
Right. I would be a little bit disappointed. They'd be trying out people like Cyril Regis, probably, dishing out caps to a few other, maybe, the likes of Kerry Dixon.
Yeah.
And I'd be disappointed if I picked up Roy the Rovers and saw even this fictionalised Bobby Robson looking elsewhere and sort of slightly slagging off the existing centre forwards. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, we've been missing this. That's why I've had to turn. Yeah. It would be disappointing. By the way, just quickly, I do have a little bit more on Elon Musk's mind function. Okay. According to the book, there are a number of mental tricks Musk uses in his quest for greatness, including batch processing, right? Which is brain training in which he processes information like a computer, zoning out for minutes at a time. Right. I know what you're thinking. What's the secret to my success? First of all, I use a method called batch processing. What is that, I hear you ask? Well, simple. I zone out for 5 minutes at a time and I simply process everything like a computer. What? How? Well, don't know. That's the mystery, isn't it? I don't know how. Musk also manages his time in 5 minutes blocks. Like, he thinks he's the only person to... he also uses, you'll like this one, because it's one that you've talked about before, the Loki technique made famous by Benedict Cumberbatch's Sherlock, creating a mind palace,
yes,
to store information. And whenever he has a deadline, he automatically halves it.
Fucking hell.
Last week, I decided... Oh, this is a writer who's decided she's going to try to be more Musk. So it's one of those first-person pieces where she lives like that. But it's like, right, some people have deadlines, yeah? Some people have deadlines. Normal people, they're here a deadline and someone will say, right, I need you to get this ready in 24 hours. To me, straight away, I think, right, 12. Yeah?
And what I do is I change the name. I call it a live line.
Yeah. I won't let it die. Yeah. I won't let it die. I don't believe in letting things die. I believe in life. So I call it a live line and I halve it. And in the future, I'm getting my team to work on a system whereby I can potentially quarter it. We're looking into that. We're seeing if it's possible. I've commissioned some research.
Training me brain so eventually I'll be able to just hit a deadline or a live line as soon as I'm giving it. Like that.
As soon as I say it, it's done. It's already done. It's done yesterday. That's the Musk way. Welcome to my mind palace. Welcome to my mind palace. Sit down, have a peanut.
All it's about is just shaving off gradually, small amount of time off the deadline till eventually you do it in 2 seconds. So that's the 100 metres world record. That keeps coming down. Eventually, someone will be able to run 100 metres in half a second. It's obvious.
Can you reverse time? Well, I tell you what, not now, but it's something that I intend to be the first man to do. If I can meet a deadline before the deadline's been set, then effectively I am reversing time.
Fucking hell. Elon Musk, hero figure of the feeble-minded.
Elon Musk or Roy Race. What did we do when we were on tour? Oh, no, it was Andrew Tate or Roy Race, but it's all the fucking same, isn't it?
Andrew
Tate's ones nowadays are all about his dad. They're all like, I was sitting at home with my mum and dad when I was 7 years old. And I cut myself with a knife. And my mother said, go get a plaster. But my dad said, no, let him bleed. Let him look at the blood. Let him feel the pain. My dad didn't believe in medical treatment. Maybe he'll die, maybe he won't. But either way, he's going to come out of this stronger. And then he always goes, my dad was a global chess champion. He was the greatest grandmaster of chess in the world.
Didn't that turn out to be a lie?
Yeah, bollocks was he. That's pure playground bullshit, that. Utter, like, his whole fucking feed reads like just some playground bullshitter.
You've got Musk, Tate and Jake Humphries, the triumvirate of fuckwits that are just getting the heads of the feeble-minded. Yeah. Yeah.
The main crime of all of them, of course, is complete and utter humourlessness. Like, so fucking boring and serious. Yeah. It's like, come on, lads, liven up. Someone needs to give him I tell you what, someone needs to go and give that fucking Andrew Tate cunt a tickle. I'll fucking do it. I'll give him a tickle. Come on, mate, give us a smile. What are you so serious about? Go on, put the cigar down. Let's have a nice little cuddle. You know what?
He wouldn't like it. He'd resist as much as he could. Say, I'm not ticklish. I'm not ticklish.
yeah, he
no,
would,
you can't. I'm not ticklish, me. Never have been.
Being ticklish. When I was 5, my dad tickled me. My mother tickled me. I went to laugh, but my dad went by eye. He grabbed me by the face. He said, don't laugh, boy. Being ticklish is for the weak.
The moment you laugh, they've got you.
And then he played 8 Chinese men at chess and beat all of them simultaneously. I learned something that day.
Anyway. Right, so, yeah, Bobby Robson, maybe that's what my squad has been lacking. And the game restarts and he says, there's something traditional about Rovers' use of wingers too. I like the look of young Neville Jones. This is a revelation, all of this, to Bobby Robson, England manager.
Yeah, imagine this, fucking wingers. John Barnes is reading this going, fucking Neville Jones, you fucking cunt. Wingers? You got loads of fucking wingers, you cunt.
Yeah.
Oh, look, me and Chris Waddle. You can play both of us, but you don't.
Mark Chamberlain.
You're playing 4 central midfielders most games. Hoddle, Wilkins.
Stephen.
Fucking Stephen can play wide, right? But let's be honest, he's a workhorse.
He cuts inside a lot.
And fucking Brian Robson. You could be playing me on the left, Waddle on the right. You got Mark Chamberlain. You got plenty of wingers to look at. Fucking hell. I don't know why I bother. I should have played for Jamaica.
Well, yeah, Robson is having his eyes opened here. As if the idea of wingers was a complete anathema to him before he'd seen this football match. The young winger, Neville Jones, wasn't afraid to take on the Tynecastle defence. And fans say, he's got his cross in, but he's pulled it back too far. Roy won't be able to turn on the ball. And it has indeed gone behind Roy. But Roy leaps like a salmon and nods it down into the path of Carl Hunt, who's running into the box. And Carl Hunt! Shouts Roy. Or maybe it's a fan. It's hard to tell. Roy's mouth's closed. I think it's a fan. Carl Hunt! The Rovers midfield dynamo in inverted commas, unleashed his awesome power. And yes, indeed, it is in the back of the net. Heck, what a shot! 2-0!
Just as we were slating Carl Hunt as well.
We were, yeah. We spoke too soon, didn't we?
Carl Hunt's like, have that,
I'll show
cunts.
you, cunts, fucking podcasting, fucking perverts of the
have
future.
That. Like to see either of you fucking mess of a man, mess of a couple of blokes fucking score a goal. Love to see score a goal in fucking blow football. Doubt it.
Sit there in your fucking greenhouse, wherever the fuck it is, with your baseball cap on. Fucking hell.
Sipping your cup of tea. You look like you haven't fucking shaved in 2 weeks. Fucking mess. Fucking pig.
As Tynecastle began to fall apart, Roy's raking through ball set up chance after chance. And yes, a great pass through. It splits the defence of Tynecastle. You're away, Rob Richards. He's got the speed, but has he got the shot? Continued on back page. We'll find out if he does have the shot. Let's have a look. Oh, he does. Yes. Yes. Back of the net, 3-0. Melchester's 3. Tynecastle 0. It's only half time. Fans are all looking up at Bobby Robson. Roy's performance was near perfect. Another one says, what more has he got to do, Bobby? You've got to pick him. England need Roy Race. And they're going down the tunnel at half-time. Blackie does get to Roy first before Carl Hunt this time. And says, they're right, Roy. If Bobby Robson wants you to join his squad... ... Roy says, I'm 30 years old, Blackie. It just makes me weep when I think of young players like Jimmy Slade throwing the chance of a lifetime away. Turning their back on communism forever. Pledging allegiance to Her Majesty, the Queen.
To the flag that represents so much bloodshed and shame.
The flag that retook the Falklands only 18 months ago.
And sunk that bloody Belgrano. By foul means, perhaps there will be a full judicial inquiry in due course.
I will be happy to sit on the inquiry panel, as in when I am called.
I've already submitted my willingness to do so to Mrs. Thatcher.
I consider it my version of national service, which I was unfortunate enough
Dear Mrs.
not to
Thatcher,
do.
I am writing to you to offer my services heading up the judicial inquiry into the sinking of the Belgrano during the Falklands conflict.
I don't want to go...
is not in warfare, but in football. I believe that my leadership qualities, charisma, and my famous mind palace will come in extremely useful to your inquiry.
Obviously, I don't want to go into too much detail at this point, but I'm sure you will find my findings in this inquiry very much to your liking, Mom. P.S. I do not believe all of this horse shit about an exclusion zone.
That's just my opinion.
P.P.S.
And that's what
I've
it's
said
all
too
about.
much.
Opinions. I like arseholes. Everyone has them. Just a bit of humour for you there, Mrs. Thatcher. Of course, I understand that you do not have an arsehole. I'm speaking merely in general terms.
I have been told that you emit pellets from your vagina, but I do not know how true that is.
My own opinion is that you do not need to defecate because you consume only cold liquids.
Your self-cleaning, our very first self-cleaning Prime Minister. And probably our last.
All the best, and God bless Roy Race. Right, I'm going to fucking... Pen! I'm going out the post box! Do you need anything? I know, I've just got to post a letter to... Well, don't worry about who it's to, but I've got to post it. If I don't do it now, I'll forget. It's very urgent.
So, yeah, they come down the tunnel, and some fella in a suit says, Jimmy's coming in now, Roy. Unless that's Jeff Boycott. That's not Boycott, he's got a different suit on.
No, it's just some other fucking flunky they've got working
just some
there.
Suit. Right, he'd better have a good story, that's all. And we see, all we see is Jimmy Slade's trousers. Strange angle. He says, hi boss, sorry I'm late, but if you'll just give me a chance to explain. And Roy says, oh no, just look at you. And then he points his finger at him, there's fury on his face, and he says, you're obviously lucky to be alive, as I suspected. Huh? Well, that's it, Jimmy. It's going to be a long time before you play for Melchester again, let alone England. Has Jimmy been abroad for some rudimentary plastic surgery? I don't know. Something's happened. I mean, he's probably crashed that stupid car he was driving around in. You know what I mean? And he's probably wearing a complete face bandage or something like that.
Yeah, what
do you
happened
think?
was, Roy, it's a funny story, actually. What happened was, I crashed the car and my entire face fell off. And so it was amazing. And so I had to hastily, get another face at the hospital of a face donor. You do actually get face donors.
You
know, so I've had to get this
of course, it's one of them faces off a crash test dummy. It's all they had.
It's very strange.
Stuck this on for now.
It's temporary. I think I'm going to get another one In fact, I'm going to wait for someone dead handsome to die. Like, apparently, Eddie Kidd is has had a terrible accident. But I'm hoping that his face is still intact. If he does pass away, I'm going to put a bid in for that.
Yeah. It's in the balance at the minute. We don't know which way it's going to go. But anyway, yeah, so we'll find out. It says, why has Roy made this sudden shock decision? We'll find out next week. So, yeah,
it's amazing.
Just
All you see is the back of Jimmy Slade's legs in these really smartly starched sort of slacks.
Slacks, yeah. Maybe he's got a fucking sling. His arm in a sling, something like that. Could have all gone horribly wrong for him. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out next week. I'm definitely going to go over to the pile of Roy the Rovers and see what it is right now.
Yeah, you can't wait, can you?
Can't wait for a week.
Don't tell me. I'll look forward to finding out.
No intention of doing that. All right, that's it. Thanks very much for listening, and goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone.